Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Okay guys, we're going to talk about a load of champions that have actually come out of the vault and had a massive value surge in the last couple of weeks, mainly through hard faction wars. And I've got to say, this kind of video is going to help you even if you're going through normal faction wars, because a lot of the same rules apply. But damn, where we've got these different challenges that we've got to do, I'm just finding that I'm bringing champions out that potentially weren't even ever built on my account. So that's pretty fun. It's pretty cool. Also means that we're using a bunch more resources perhaps than we used to. Anyway, let's kick off with the Bannerlords. I'm just going to call out the big ones. I had a rare who came out of the vault to help me through, specifically the ability to increase the buff count and debuff count, like this ability here on array 2. I was looking through all of my champs and I didn't really have a better option than Valerie to get that done. So that's someone we can all go and farm. And yeah, I needed her in my team. She also, by the way, just helped out by bringing shielding and that type of stuff as well. So she was pretty solid. In terms of epics, Archmage Helmet, his AoE stun. Wow, it's so huge for an epic to have a stun that's got like a, what is this, like 75% chance to land? So massive. So yeah, this was big. Also brings good buffs. I also found myself using Rowan for one of the fights. She's got this kind of like triple hit chance to stun, also bringing poisons. That was pretty useful. I don't think there's much else here that was kind of like mission defining. I guess one of the missions actually is about provokes, and Seneschal coming in here with a 100% chance to provoke is big. He's also got a leech, which sort of factors in a little bit as well. So yeah, a few in the epic category here, which were pretty useful. For legendaries, I found myself using Killian a lot. So Killian, again, is a bit similar to Archmage. He's got this ability to throw the stuns out. He's also got the ability to lock out the skills of all of the enemies, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Killian getting lucky and coming out of the vault. I've been using Stultus a ton. Not that that's like a new thing really, just a good champion. I did find myself using Septimus because he's got the chance to reset the cooldown of a skill if he kills someone, which again was just helpful on that same one where I used Valerie. So Septimus got geared up and got himself into the fight. Richtoff bringing a ton of poisons is pretty useful. And I guess the other one to call out, not that it's really different to how you would usually use it, but I just felt like Raglan's heal and kind of revive and stuff were useful just to make sure that I got my maximum stars. But I've got to say, I started off using Raglan, but then quite quickly thought, why the hell would I use Raglan when I got Marishka? And Marishka is top tier. So not exactly someone that's just got out of the vault for this, but she was top tier. For the High Elves then. High Elves, not that many epics that have kind of like come out fresh for me. I did find myself using Skaramis here for this AoE provoke. 100% chance to land, which is extremely useful for waves anyway, but also when you've got that mission going off. I don't think I used any of the other epics here in terms of like new usage. So for this faction, it's been one of the worst for getting my epics out of the vault. I did find myself using Pixniel for the AoE freeze. That's the first time I've ever used her on this account. Used her alongside Shiramani, was just throwing out the freezes for fun. So those two combined got that mission done really well. Yeah, and I think that's probably about it. I've got some AoE poisonage going off here with Elenara as well as a burn. But she's already someone that I use a decent amount. Onto the Sacred Order. Sacred Order, not much in the way of epics coming out. I did use Phoenix, who's got block revive and a bunch of damage. So he was pretty useful just for straight like damage dealing. Don't think I used anyone else here that was kind of like, weird to use. So in terms of legendaries though, I used Corvus with the AoE poison, super quick to get that mission done. Astralon, AoE stun, really, really effective. So, and for me, I didn't have him geared at all. Just had him sitting in my vault. Literally geared him out yesterday. AoE stun, got myself through the waves. AoE stun the first wave, that gives me 5. Basically played with other crowd control champions in my team, like I actually brought Supreme Aethel in for AoE freeze for wave 2. Made sure that I had enough turns to get my stun back for wave 3, and then we stunned again. So I got my 10 stuns away. He-Man decimates these waves. Oh my god, he does so much freaking damage. Yeah, He-Man, I've been using a ton as well. Alice is also really strong here for RA2. So increasing the cooldown of skills and giving us some turn meter drop. Found myself using Maud. Not everyone's going to have her, of course, but the ability to strip off buffs was really good for when you're trying to place those stuns if you don't go first. And then I found myself using, just for support, honestly, the Archbishop. So lots of buffs, lots of shieldage and healing, just generally pretty damn solid champ. Okay, on to the Barbs. Yeah, Barbs. Barbs, not much in the way of epic action here. I did find myself using Alika for this. I guess she's got the cannon, the nuke, right? But she's also able to increase the cooldown of enemy skills, which was really good. I did use High Katoon for like the turn meter stuff to make sure that I got that mission done really easily. She was already built for me, so that was a nice one to grab out the vault. 4 legendaries, which are, I guess, a little bit unusual. A Paladin now, so damn good, giving us a lot of healing and support, block debuffs. Also found myself using the Archer. Obviously, not many people are going to be able to pick her up, but, or you've either got it or you haven't, but AoE Provoke and AoE Stun, both absolutely obscene skills. I was using Yakal for the AoE Freeze and a bit of damage, so he's definitely an accessible champ. So yeah, I'm definitely finding that, you know, champions that perhaps I wasn't using before are starting to come out and get some use. For the tribes then, for the Odorin tribes, Strength, AoE Burn, so damn effective on some of these missions, really good. I found myself get Lawn Cutter out the vault and bring the AoE Leech, which again was a requirement for one of the missions. I thought I was going to use Grush because I thought, oh yeah, Grush has got AoE Leech, but I was wrong. He's got single target Leech. Wouldn't have got me enough. Well, I guess he would have got me, because you only need to hit the people that got Leech on, so kind of would have been an okay, I guess, like, you know, second place, but yeah, Lawn was way better. So also found myself using Maneater a little bit for his unkillable ability, just to make sure that I'm not dying as I'm trying to get some of this stuff away. That was pretty good. I used Eurodrim for the poison mission. So again, my Eurodrim was built, but just living in the vault. This was a weird one for me. Biggun. I don't know when I actually pulled Biggun, but damn, he has come out clutch for the recent one I had to do with the turn meter drop. Didn't really have anyone doing turn meter drop other than with like the A1 mastery. If I put that A1 mastery on this guy, I've got a full wave of turn meter drop here. Then I A1 the same wave, and basically I'm getting 20 ticks of turn meter drop per wave with Biggun. So we're living in the vault, and now he's out. Ignatius, super good for the HP burns set, obviously irresistible, plus an AoE provoke. Means that I can control the waves better. Found myself using Gergo as well. Okay, he's Void Legendary, but damn. Since his buff, actually top tier. AoE Freeze, and he's your drop defense champion as well. Plus extra turns in there, really, really good. Stock was just brilliant for the poison wave or poison mission. And Grazure, another AoE provoker with a really high chance. So he's been out for me as well. Not that he was in the vault, but good champion. For the Lizardman, main one to call out here is Venomage. Just his AoE poison and heal reduction for 2 separate missions. Really, really good. Didn't get a lot of extra value out of epics. I tried Aox. Aox could be like a good second place, but again, compared to Venomage, not even close. And Scathix, I've considered using, but I didn't in the end, just to try and keep my team moving. But ultimately, I wanted to crowd control rather than take hits, so didn't use them as much. I did find myself using Basafa for the AoE stun. This is a Doom Tower champion. Fushan as well for the AoE stun, but not as high chance, but still decent option. Who else came in and did some work here? I think that's kind of it for like the unusual ones. Obviously, you know, people like your Krisk is just a jack of all trades. Really, really good. I guess mainly really good support with this big shield and stuff. So found he was pretty useful, and the provoke. So yeah, another good one that's been around my account for a while. Okay, onto Skinwalkers. Who am I using here? Skinwalkers, I think I used a couple here. So Taurus for the poison mission was really, really strong. He's also bringing a weaken, and that's about it really. But he makes himself unkillable, so he's good to use. I'd say maybe the best epic in the game for missions is this fella, a Kempton. Oh my god, he's so damn good. If it's a stun mission, you put him in a stun set, and he just like spreads stuns around like crazy. Same with provoke, put him in provoke set, spreads provokes around like crazy. He's got his own ability to spread poisons around. He's just like god tier, honestly, for missions. So I'd say he's probably the best champ, certainly the best epic in the game for like getting yourself through tons of different style missions. So yeah, Kempton was brilliant actually. I've used him in most of the different challenges. For legendaries here, Norog came out of the vaults. Not that he did anything for missions, just really good to have the AoE drop defense now and block buffs. So that was really useful just to set up my damage. I've used Uko just to be stripping buffs off of enemies so that I can get my debuffs away and therefore do my missions. War Chief was going to be my provoke option, but I ended up using a Kempton, but could have been a good solid option to come out. Poison waves, there's no better champion than Nishak, providing you don't kill them all too quick. He just throws out poisons like crazy. Found that I was using Ragash a lot, but again, already a good champion to use. So pretty damn solid. Yeah, I think that's it for that faction. For the Orcs then, not too much in the way of epics coming out here. In fact, I don't think I used like anyone weird. You do get a bit of burn going on here, but I think most of us would have a better option in legendaries. So perhaps that's why. But yeah, didn't really use a lot in terms of epics here. I did find myself using Artak a good amount. This AoE burn. Yeah, and the ability to extend debuffs as well. Two of those things really solid. Robar was the way I got through stun missions generally, because I could just keep like chain stunning with this A1 ability. And I found that was just all I needed really. I pulled Iron Brago out for his AoE provoke. I also used Supreme Gaelic for his AoE burn and damage, which is solid. Found myself using Raka for the first time, actually. Really just as a setup and support champion, but you know, really, really good support to make sure that nobody is dying on my team. So that was pretty good. Yeah, I think that's probably it for those champions. For the Demon Spawn, I used Akoff for the AoE HP burn wave. Umbral, super good. AoE provoke, plus the ability to keep herself alive. Really, really strong champion for the different missions. Achak as well with the AoE freeze was pretty solid. So lots of good options here to be able to use. In terms of legendaries, I actually found myself using Kaimar for the poison wave. So just A1ing with Kaimar, using other champions for crowd control. And then once I'd done the mission, Kaimar turns into the reset bot, and then I start nuking. So that's pretty good. Lix came out the vault. Just so much going on here. Block active skills, decrease speed, turn me to control, weaken, like loads going on. Really, really great kit for faction wars. I used Sakir for my burns, but Drex would have been a good option as well. And again, someone that you can farm eventually is Lamassu. Just this AoE True Fear ability whilst pushing the turn meter of one of your champs is super strong. So yeah, she was a good pick as well. For the Undead, Seeker came back out the vault. Lots of turn meter pushing for me. Provokes. I had Husk come out the vault as well. AoE stun and provokes. So both of them already good champions we know about, but got some time back in my roster. Bodoff as well with the provokage and just like healing ability was strong. In terms of legendaries, I'd say Vlad has been one of the key ones for me for faction wars. Like AoE drop defense and block active skills, really, really strong. And then this AoE leech got me through one of the missions. Yes, just so much going on in this kit, but brilliant for this. I thought Euros was going to be brilliant as well, but he's turned out for me to be pretty average to weak. And in the end, I turned for the poison mission to go for Nephril. Would rather get the poisons off this A1 whilst doing turn me to control and stunnage. Nephril's another one which has just been like MVP coming out for faction war missions with the stuns, turn me to drops, poisons, like loads going on in this kit, really good. Mashald I've used a ton as well with the True Fear and Leech ability, so another one there that has been really good. Bad Elf for the AoE poison, pretty damn good as well. So yeah, lots of options here of champions that I've not used a lot recently that have been coming out and doing a ton of work. For Dark Elves then, from the epic point of view, Luria for the AoE freeze. I found myself using Sylar, good option for turn me to push or push back, I guess. Otherwise, I don't think I used anything here. I found myself gearing for the first time Supreme Kale and using his AoE poison. Also manipulating enemy debuffs. So those two things come hand in hand as good options. Visix for the AoE provoke came out the vault and did her job. For the AoE freeze, I used Ra. Albeit, so I used Ra initially. I eventually pulled Luria in as well because trouble with Ra, she does so much freaking damage. Like, she really, really smacks. And I found myself just killing. I had to reduce her build to be able to actually land the freeze rather than just nuke the enemy. So that was an interesting change. Your AoE poison here in Xavier was useful. Anyone else that was a bit different? No, I think that's probably it for the Dark Elves. For the Night Revs then, Mistreated Monster was a go-to for that AoE stun. Pretty damn useful. I don't think I used anyone else here from the epics as like a new epic or someone that was a bit unusual to use. For legendaries, Theodore Calvalax for the poison waves, just super strong. Oh yeah, Solus was the other one. Solus came out the vault, and okay, he was god tier as like a defensive nuker. He's not anymore. He's now good. But yeah, his provokage was really strong as well. So someone else that came out was helpful. And Vasolf, actually. Vasolf with the AoE leech was pretty damn useful. So onto Dwarves. Dwarves, I found myself, because I had a couple of Geomancers built for different content. I just pulled 2 Geomancers out, and I was like, for the HP burn, these boys are getting it done, which is pretty fun. So they were good. Rockbreaker for his AoE provoke, really useful. In terms of legendaries, so Torment, another provoker here, and Morley, another provoker. Lots of provokes in this faction. I think in the end I used Morley as my kind of main one, and I could have used Gronjar for the burns, but because I had my Geos already built, I used Geos. I also could have used Trunder, but I got Trunder built as an absolute nuke, so no one was staying alive long enough to be burnt. So, and I would have had to change to more like an accuracy build. But yeah, not much else going on there. Shadowkin, again, couple of interesting epics. So Buren Giri with this AoE stun chance was really useful. Taradi, literally god tier provoke. If you've got a couple of other debuffs out there, it will go 100% chance. So that's insane for an epic. Then we had for legendaries here, Kimmy, not so much for missions, just because of all this turn me to control. She was really good to enable me to cycle back to my different abilities that I wanted to use. I was using Harima for provoke plus nuke, which was really strong. Again, Zin as well, not necessarily for missions, but just so much going on in terms of pace of coming back to abilities. Drop defense really useful to help me beat up the waves. And yeah, that's probably it for that faction. And then lastly, then Silan Watchers. So Creodan, another one of these god tier epics for this type of stuff. So AoE freeze chance, turn me to boost, increase speed, really good. Just enables a bunch of the different missions, plus just good to have in the team for like controlling enemies and speeding you up. Daithi with his drop defense ability was useful as well. I don't have a lot of the legendaries here, and yeah, found myself relying a bit more on kind of like obviously who I have got. I'm trying to think really. So this one, in terms of reducing the cooldown of skills, was pretty strong. I found myself actually using Nia to do the same thing, so where I needed to use that on one of the missions. And then yeah, generally I found, you know, Elva, Portrayed, and Eastrid all kind of good supports depending on what I needed to get done. So yeah, hopefully that's helpful. Again, like I found, if I go into my roster, obviously I've not done just faction ones, I've done a bunch of stuff, but if I'm looking at my recently used, it's definitely interesting to see, you know, how many of the different epics are now coming into the roster and getting some playtime. So for me, as a late game player, or an end game player, I guess, that's really enjoyable. But I guess, yeah, hopefully that was useful for you. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.